Hello, football fans. Hello, fellow world champions, Chelsea fans. Yeah, I know it's no longer news that Real Madrid of Spain finally issued a statement stating their disinterest in signing Chelsea midfielder in the person of Enzo Fernandez. So the statement was one of a kind. I am particularly pleased with the event that just played out a few days ago, which compelled Real Madrid to come out and make an official statement to say, well, we are no longer, or rather, we are not interested in signing Enzo Fernandez after all these months of quote unquote twerking for Real Madrid done by Enzo Fernandez, both by himself and by his agents Javier Pastore. There's been so much disrespect shown to Chelsea over the last few months, including one of those moments that he made such a disrespectful statement about him having an interest in signing for Real Madrid and how he wouldn't mind to go to Madrid whilst he was still playing for Chelsea. In fact, it was just at the point where Chelsea just got eliminated from the UEFA Champions League. He was making such statements, and then he got banned for 2 matches as a result of that. And even subsequently, Enzo Fernandez never concealed his interest to go to Real Madrid, to the point that his agent Javier Pastore was constantly talking about the desire for him to leave Chelsea eventually, even speculating that Enzo Fernandez had reached a point where he should be earning much more than he was currently earning. And as a result of that, they were open to discussions for a transfer to other clubs available, including Real Madrid. And Real Madrid, by the way, had been of a particular interest to Enzo Fernandez and his agents. They've been saying things, they've just been disregarding and disrespecting Chelsea and Chelsea fans. But somehow, I'm happy for what has just happened, because if it seemed that Real Madrid have just kind of restored a bit of the dignity and of the respect that is attached to the institution of Chelsea, which both Enzo Fernandez and his agent have been trying to drag in the mud over the last few weeks and the last few months. I'm particularly happy about that by the statement that was issued by Real Madrid, saying, in light of the information and statements that have emerged in recent days regarding an alleged interest from Real Madrid CF in the player Enzo Fernandez, the club wishes to state that it has not made any efforts, either directly or indirectly, aimed at signing the aforementioned player, and furthermore has no intention of pursuing such an operation. Real Madrid wishes to express its utmost respect for Enzo Fernandez, a great footballer whose career and quality are widely recognized, as well as for Chelsea FC, a club with which it maintains an excellent institutional relationship. Yeah, that's it. Here's my take. I think this should serve both Enzo Fernandez, his agents, and other current Chelsea players a lesson that, number one, you don't go about disrespecting and disregarding the club that you are currently signed on to, that you're still currently having a contract with, that you're signed with. You don't go about disrespecting such a club just because you desire to move to a bigger club or a club that you perceive to be doing much better currently, considering the fact that Chelsea haven't qualified for the Champions League for the next season and Madrid are actually a superpower. They have always qualified for the Champions League. They are Spanish giants. They always stand a good chance of winning the Spanish La Liga and also the Champions League. In fact, they have won more number of UEFA trophies than any other club in the last 10 years. So that speaks volumes, and that explains why almost every football player wants to play at Real Madrid. But then you don't go about disrespecting the club that you are still currently signed with by constantly expressing your interest in that club, and in turn disrespecting the club that you're still currently signed on to. And secondly, I also believe that your value as a football player, not even as a football player right now, but even as an individual, as a professional, generally, your value would always be seen, will be clearly seen by any prospective organization or company that you desire or intend to work with in the near future, without you necessarily begging or trying to impose yourself on them, trying to sell yourself so cheaply to such an organization for them to notice you. If you are such a valuable individual or professional, these organizations will always notice you and they will come for you. So this attitude of imposing oneself on organization and at the same time disrespecting the organization you still work with should not be encouraged. And I remember how Cucurella, when he got signed with Real Madrid, he also made a statement and said he wished Enzo Fernandez was going to join him. You don't do that for a club that has given you a platform, that has given you a name, that has put you on a higher pedestal when it came to your football career. Both Enzo Fernandez and Marc Cucurella became bigger players at the club level after having joined Chelsea. So it's actually very wrong for them to go ahead and start disrespecting the same club and by extension the fans and the entire institution of Chelsea. It's just so wrong. So for me, I think it's a good step in the right direction by Real Madrid to say no, we don't want you. That probably is gonna keep him a little bit more humble and make him to just focus on what he's got on his hands right now, which is Chelsea. And even if eventually he's gonna leave to another club, that will probably make him go about his moves at leaving Chelsea more discreetly and more humbly. And that should also teach other current Chelsea players a lesson now. Well, you don't disrespect the club you are still currently playing for just because you have a desire to join another club. Yeah, and recently there's been so much disrespect being shown to Chelsea or towards Chelsea and the fans by some of the players that have played for the team in recent times, including Madrid, Kai Havertz, and the rest of them, to just leave the club and begin to make very disrespectful statements about the team. This was something that never used to happen during the time of Abramovich. So I think the current Blue Coat owners also share part of this whole blame for having dragged Chelsea into this so much disrepute, and we just can't wait for this club to move from this point where we are now to a level where we will no longer experience this series of show of disrespect by the players that have played for us or that are even still playing for us, that are yet to even leave the team, constantly saying things that could undermine the importance of the team, the Chelsea team. We hope for the best, we hope for the better in the coming season, and my prayer is we're able to sign very good quality, experienced players and add to the current crop of players that we have that are not as much experienced. We just need to go back to where we used to be during the days of Roman Abramovich, where we had lots of experienced, quality, top-class footballers that played for Chelsea, and then as a result of that, we're able to win lots of great, important, big, major trophies. And I wish Xabi Alonso all the best for next season. And I wish us all Chelsea fans all the best in the coming 2026-27 season. For now, I say God bless you all. Bye for now.